I ended up getting that job with BP. And the first couple of years I worked, and I had that same mindset of, okay, I'm gonna just make money. But soon, within those first couple of years, I came to find out that I was going to work 7 a.m., 7:30, whatever. Leave at 5:30. It just got to be repetitive, and I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And no matter how much I was getting paid, I just didn't have happiness in my life. That all this time, from high school all the way till that point, I was thinking that as long as I'm making money, cool, I can have fun on the weekends and
Right.
my vacation days. Um, but that's it. That's all I need is money. And that's the point that I found out that it's not just about the money. It's about having something that you feel fulfilled by doing,
Right.
and doing something you actually enjoy doing.
Right.
That was a major shift in my life. I would say it's when that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's where you came up with the whole three things of, something that you're good at, something
Hmm.
that you enjoy, and something that you
Right.
can make money from.
Yep, exactly. Because at that point, I had the money part. And matter of fact, I was even good at it to the point, I graduated with good grades and everything. So you could say I was
Right.
good at it, but I still didn't have that final factor of enjoying what I do.
Right.
And because of that, I really just didn't find that happiness in my life. And I would say that's probably the closest I've been to like depression.
Okay.
I was single at that time because I was just on my grind, staying late,
Yep.
overtime, just trying to make as much money as possible. But no matter how much money I made, I just wasn't finding that feeling of fulfillment. So I ended up actually walking away from that job voluntarily, on my own. I saw also people getting laid off that had
Right.
30 years experience, 20, 25 years experience, because the oil industry was going through a rough patch. And so uh, I just didn't feel the security I thought I would feel either. I'm like, okay, I'm working for this big company. You would think that you have some sort of stability, but then here I am sitting looking at people who are 20 years my senior at this company just getting laid off left and right, like without like a couple days notice, like,
Right.
okay, yeah, you done.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gave me some perspective as well. Like, okay, I see how this game is being played, and I don't really want to be a part of this. I want to feel like I have, something to where I'm not so dependent on this particular employer,
Yeah, for sure.
and I want to be able to kind of do things for myself. So I started just dabbling. You could say I started dabbling at that point. I got targeted with all the ads for online businesses of different sorts, whether it's marketing, whether it's Amazon, FBA, whether it's drop shipping. Um, and the one I ended up pursuing was marketing, digital marketing. Um, and again, at that point, I knew that I knew that I wanted the flexibility. I knew that I didn't want to feel like I was trapped, like in the day job, in the corporate job.
Yep.
But at that point, I still didn't know that it was because it's not something that's fulfilling to me. I still thought it was just about, at that point, okay, it's just flexibility. Like, I hate that I have to wake up in the morning and go into the office. Like, I want to be able to work when I want to work.
Right. Right.
I want to be able to work on my own terms. So that was what I thought. So we go from chapter one, where I think I just need to make as much money as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
That didn't turn out to be true. Now, chapter two, I'm like, okay, I just have to do something that's flexible and makes money. So I found that in the marketing. It says flexible and makes money. Um, and so I started doing that. And that's when I started investing as well. Because when I left the company, I had this 401k, right? They're like, well, what do you want to do with this 401k? I'm like, to be honest, I have no idea what this 401k even is. Like, I don't even know I had this
Really?
thing. No idea. Like, when I signed the paperwork with HR to start working there, I just signed the paperwork like everybody else. We sat in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
big room with 200 other people that's getting new hires, whatever. I didn't know. And so when I left, I had this, because I had been working there for, between internships and full time, it had been a few years. So I had come to find out a pretty good sum of money that I had been saving into this. I didn't know. I just saw my paycheck that would come in, and they deducted all this stuff. I didn't really look too closely
Right.
into
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
apparently they were investing it into
For
this
sure.
401k. So I was like, well, I don't really understand this 401k thing, so I'm gonna just withdraw it. So I actually go to them. I'm like, well, how do I turn that into like actual money I could use? so, so they said, well, I mean, you could take it out, but then you're gonna be hit with this penalty. You know, you're gonna be hit with taxes and penalties and all that. But at that point, again, I was just, I didn't know anything about that. You know how that all works. I was like, well, so like otherwise, like when can I take it out and use it? And they were like, well, I mean, when you're like whatever 60, 65, you can withdraw without penalties. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me I'm supposed to just have all this money that I can't touch until I'm 60? I was like, no, I'm good. I just give me the money and I'll figure out what to do with it. So at that point, because I needed funds to invest in the business,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, venture, you know, things that I was doing. So it wasn't that I wanted to take out the money and go buy me a Ferrari or do anything like that, but I didn't have the money to be investing in these businesses, these ideas that were going to make me financially independent in my
Right.
head. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull this money out. I'm gonna put it into, you know, this business. They said the guru told me that if I spend $10,000 on this course, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me just let me just go ahead and do that. And I was just real wet behind the ears, naive, like, you know, I ain't know what I was, you know, I just trusted whoever told me anything, and they sounded like they were smart.
Right.
Which that's a big lesson I would say for people, to be careful. Like if it sounds too good to be true, I know it's cliche, but it probably is. I'm not gonna say it definitely is, but it
Right.
probably is.
Right.
Anytime you hear somebody say, "Oh, with no effort, you could be on the beach on your laptop," you know, and you're not putting a single hour of work in, and you can make millions of dollars, like just run the other way, because I don't care what they say, they're not.